What's up everybody and welcome back to my channel. I can't believe we hit 100,000 subscribers. I'm still mind blown by it. I want to make an official video just like outlining all my thoughts about it. So definitely keep an eye out for that. I need a moment. This is a little bit shocking for me right now. But you know, thank you guys so much for being here for the journey all these years. Like we finally did it. So freaking cool. And I can't wait to do another video to talk about it with you guys, in addition to the significance of this dress that I'm wearing to mark the occasion. But by the way, you guys, I actually do have something really exciting coming out soon that I wanted to share with you. It should be coming out this week if everything goes well. But a couple weeks ago, I shot a project with a major television network and like major YouTubers as well. Like these people were huge before joining YouTube was even a thought for me. So like it's really exciting. It should be coming out this week. It's gonna be on Instagram. Definitely follow me over there, Grace Report. If you want to watch like this video, it's going to be really funny. You can laugh along and just check it out, get into all of the gossip and everything when it officially debuts. Now, with all of that being said, let's jump into our official recap of this week's episode of Teen Mom 2. So it is Addie's 7th birthday and she wants a Parisian-themed birthday party, and Jeremy and Leah are on good terms this year, so they want to host it together. Kail's mom has reached out to her again, apologizing for not being present for her, not being a good mother, telling her that she loves her and wants to stop living life the way that she's been doing so far. And guys, I didn't realize that Kail was still friends with Sterling. It's been a while since we've seen her, but Kail says that, listen, she wants to go down to Dallas and introduce Sterling to her sister and then have all the kids get together as well. She says that the last time she spoke to her sister was 6 weeks ago, which is quite sad. Kail wants to be closer to her sister so that her kids can have some relatives on her side, but she's hesitant about introducing her kids just for her sister to not stay in touch. Meanwhile, in Florida, Devon brought Nova around his mom, apparently behind Briana's back, and that pissed Briana off. Guys, I didn't watch Teen Mom 3, so I don't get the full dynamic of like their relationship there, so I can't comment too much on it. But I did find it weird that Briana doesn't like that the grandma only occasionally sees Nova, but Louis and his dirty DICK are allowed to come in and out of Stella's life. You know, a little bit odd there. Meanwhile, in one of the Dakotas, I always forget which one, Chelsea lets her daughter Aubree know that she's gonna give her permission to buy herself a cell phone with her own money. I was a little nervous about the drive home because that back window was so dirty, Chelsea couldn't see out of it. I was like, damn, you don't have a squeegee at your house? And over in Indiana, there was a big fight at Jade's house that had her kick Shawn and her parents out after the police came. OMG, you guys. Apparently it happened because she found drug residue on the bathroom counter after Shawn used the bathroom, and so she confronted him about it, and then he blamed it on her mom, and then her mom was like, what the hell, it definitely wasn't me. So her husband plants a camera in their room and allegedly catches Shawn trying to plant dope pipes in their bedroom to frame them for doing drugs. Like the whole thing was incredibly messy, and then Shawn was really pissed off about that. So Jade says that he told her that he's gonna kill her dad, and then like Shawn then pushes Jade down the stairs or in the stairwell or something like that, and then he and her dad start fist fighting on top of her while she's on the ground. I was like, where was your daughter throughout all this? What the hell? Poor Jade, he put his hands on her, and the two of them are back together to this day. That really upsets me. It truly does. She did not deserve any of this. Her daughter does not deserve to witness this either. It is a very, very messy situation. After she describes the fight to her friend, she starts crying about how her daughter deserves better than this, and her daughter deserves better than her as well. And you know, my heart broke for her. I was like, you know what? Yes, your daughter does deserve better than this, but you can give her better than this. Like Jade, as an individual, does such a great job. You know, she's the one keeping up that household with 3 other adults who are not pulling their weight. So she can like just do all that for just her daughter and leave them in the dust. And I don't know why she doesn't do it. Out west in West Virginia, it was so cute of the twins to get Addie's birthday gift. They were so excited to give it to her that they gave it to her like early. They're like, Addie, come to the room. We want to give you your birthday gift. And it was slime. Like, I know that slime is a big segment on YouTube and that like kids really love it. So it was quite cute to see that. And it just reminded me as well as like growing up with my older sister. She loves giving gifts. So she would always be too excited to give it to me. And she'd give it to me like ahead of my birthday. I'm like, oh my God, so cute. Sisters. I love sisters. Leah then tells Addie that she's going going to have one joint birthday party with Jeremy present, and Addie's really excited about it, but then she jumps into like claiming that like it means that Leah and Jeremy are gonna get married. She claims that Jeremy already bought Leah a ring. I was like, sis, we're celebrating your birthday, not a wedding. Why is this child so preoccupied with weddings and her mom like being married to her dad? I'm like, oh, the poor thing. I feel like Jeremy and Leah really shouldn't have been as forward as they were with their like dating relationship. It is a little bit of a mess. Up north in Delaware, I got a little bit of a headache, I have to admit, watching Kail try to explain her family tree to her son. So it's Lincoln and Isaac sitting down. By the way, they're so handsome, so cute. It's amazing watching all of these kids grow up. So like, listen, not a single nuclear family in sight. You know, they're like curious. She's talking about having like a sister. They're like, wait a second, when you were talking to your mom said she only had one daughter. And then she's like, well, listen, like she's got a different this, but we share this, blah, blah. I was like, oh, and then these kids all have different dads. It's just a lot to take in. But you know what? I'm a little bit confused here because I didn't understand what Kail meant when she was telling the boys that like her sister's kid is their first cousin. I was like, don't Joe's siblings and like Javi's siblings also have kids? Like they also have other cousins, other first cousins. So what does she mean? Like the first cousin from her side? I don't know. It wasn't very clear to me. But again, I already had a headache trying to imagine being a little kid with my mom explaining this very messy family tree to me. Back in, I'm gonna guess North Dakota, rich ass Aubree just like, you know, it's time to pay for her phone, and she just pulls out a wad of cash and throws it on the counter. I was like, yes, girl. It made me laugh so freaking hard. So she buys herself the iPhone 8. She calls Chelsea on it, all excited, and it's just amazing to see. Then down south in Florida, Devon gets a solo scene where he explains a little bit more the situation, well, his side of the situation, about why his mom doesn't see his daughter Nova that often. According to Devon, his mom has her own young kids to raise and she works full time. My thing there is like, okay, you've got your own young kids to raise, your son's got a young kid. Why wouldn't you want them kind of like to hang out together, like to have their little play dates, right? Like, isn't it awesome that they're about the same age range? Meanwhile, when it was time for Briana to explain her version of events, she claimed that like the mom had never really come around because she's always been pissed that Briana did not put Devon's name on the birth certificate or allow him to sign it. Listen, I don't understand these things. Why would she not want the father of the child to sign the birth certificate? Was she a little bit confused about paternity, or was there another reason? But with all of that being said, it was incredibly wrong of Devon's mom to be cursing her out. She was just a teenager at the time. Anyway, Briana tells her friend Shirley that she would love for Nova's grandmother, Devon's mom, to come to her birthday party since she started coming around. She's like, if you're gonna come around, be consistent and start coming often. So we shall see if she does ultimately end up showing up. Guys, this is where things get exciting, okay? Like, you know, Jade's mom and dad are in a van, they're pulling up, they open the door, and a familiar voice greets them. It goes, hey guys. I was like, wait a second. Could it be? And then the voice continues talking like, how are you guys? I was like, oh my God. It pans over, shows my arch nemesis, KRISTEN. I was like, guys, I could not have asked for a better 100K subscriber gift than for my arch nemesis to make a return to Teen Mom 2. I'd been thinking to myself for weeks about how much I miss her, and the fact that she's here, man, I had to pause. I truly had to pause and just take in the exciting moment, okay? So this is what happens with her. So Jade's mom tells KRISTEN that her husband had a broken rib as a result of the fight with Shawn, and KRISTEN, who knows exactly what happened because she was just there while they filmed the scene with Jade, because it seems as though she's Jade's producer this season, asks, well, what happened? And then Jade's mom tells on herself when she explains the story. Listen very closely. She goes, you know, like, we found dope residue in the counter after Shawn was in the bathroom, and then he blamed it on me. And I was like, what am I, magic? I haven't been downstairs. So you do drugs, right? Because if she didn't do drugs, she would have said, it's not mine because I'm clean and sober. I haven't touched drugs in I don't know how long. You know, but she's like, am I magic? I haven't been downstairs. So she does have a stash somewhere in the house where this child lives. And this is the woman that Jade's been allowing to watch over her child. Very, very sad. So then she talks about how after that, Shawn tried to plant like dope pipes in their bedroom to frame them for that earlier, like, you know, thing that like Jade had caught him doing. And so, you know, she shows the video. So you see the video, it's really hard to see because listen, it's a lens on a screen. So of course it's blurry, but I'm sure KRISTEN had a better view. But nonetheless, she goes, what is that? And then Jade's mom is like, dope pipes. KRISTEN does like the dramatic Pikachu gaps. She goes, oh, and Jade's mom goes, 2 of them. And she goes, oh my God. Oh my God. I am so happy KRISTEN is here. She is just the gift that keeps on giving to me. And then Jade's mom, who looked pretty damn high at this moment, claims that she volunteered to leave the house because she didn't want to cause Jade any stress or problems for the night. And then KRISTEN asked, surprised, that things went left between them. You know, she's like, I don't know why things are changing like this. Like, you guys were all living together. They were all going so well. No, girl, just last week we saw that Jade's mom, obviously probably doing drugs or something, was like 3 hours late to her graduation and bringing her daughter to her graduation. So no, things had not been going well all this time. Then Jade's mom like blames everything on Shawn. She's like, I wish my daughter never fell in love with a loser ass dope fiend, as if her daughter is not busting her balls taking care of 2 loser ass dope fiends outside of her baby daddy, being her mother and her stepdad as well. You know, she's pointing a finger with 3 pointing right back at her. Moving right back down south to Florida, both of Devon's parents end up coming to Nova's birthday party. And although Roxanne was excited about it, Briana was being stankity stank. I'm telling y'all, this is Petty Betty 2.0 this season. Why are you being stank about the fact that they showed up when you spent the earlier half of this episode whining about how they should show up? You know, like, what the hell? And speaking of Petty Betty, Kail gets a text from her sister canceling their Dallas plans. Her sister says that she was bitten by a dog and, like, you know, she's in a lot of pain, so it's just not possible this time around. And instead of worrying about her sister, like calling her like, what happened, I'm so sorry to hear this, she calls her friend Mark, and they both claim that it's an excuse not to see her. And I'm like, you know what? A lot of stuff must have happened behind the scenes for this to be Kail's automatic reaction. At least I would hope so, right? Because if my sister told me she got bit by a dog, I'd be calling her, like FaceTime video calling her, like, sis, what happened? Show me. Oh my God, this is so sad. Like, do you need help? You know, like, I don't know what it is, but like her reaction was very odd, you know, from one sister to another. Especially when Kail says that as a result of this, she's probably never gonna reach out to her sister again. I was like, damn, I really wanna know what happened between the 2 of them. Her sister's on Twitter, you know, wanting to tell her side of the story. So like, hopefully she comes out with something. I reached out to her. I don't know if I'm gonna hear back, but if I do, you guys will hear all about it as well. Anyway, you guys, I have a genuine question. Is it normal for grandparents to be around their grandchildren so often? Like, is it something that you should be expecting? Because remember, I don't understand as a first-generation immigrant, like, you know, I just have my nuclear family here. The rest of my family is back in Kenya. And then now I'm here in France. And if I plant roots permanently here, it's not going to be a thing for me, you know what I mean? So I just don't really get this concept. Briana's like, oh my God, like Nova sees my mom every day. Sis, it's because you've got all your kids cramped up in your mom's house, you know, a 2-bedroom apartment, I should say. So yeah, of course she sees your mom every day, you know? So I don't know why she expects that of Devon's mom as well. To me, it was a little bit odd. And it sounds like Devon's mom, you know, works really hard to make ends meet for her own children. So for Briana to demand that this woman sees her child literally every day is a bit much to me. I don't understand it. But again, listen, I have a very different kind of setup family-wise, so maybe I'm not understanding. I thought that, like, you know, kids plant their own roots somewhere, like pretty often, different states, different cities, you know, a little bit further along in the same city, different countries. So to me, I don't get it. Like, is a grandchild really supposed to see a grandparent literally every day? And is not seeing this grandparent every day going to be the most traumatic, confusing thing ever? I don't get it. No. You know, like, a little bit speechless here. I think that Briana is just being stank to be stank. She's always handpicking Devon, but allowing Lewis and his crabby penis to come in and out of her life. You know, she's got a very big double standard here. Back up north in Indiana again, my arch nemesis KRISTEN sits down with Shawn the next day and asks him about his homeless situation and confronts him about the video that Jade's mom showed. And Shawn's got an excuse for the video, y'all. Shawn claims that he was walking into that room looking for a phone charger because he doesn't do drugs anymore, so it couldn't have been him. Now, listen, I went back and rewatched the video afterwards because I'm like, okay, let me see. Maybe her parents are trying to fudge. I don't know. So I went back and looked at the video. Again, it's hard to see because it was shot off of a phone, not a direct video, a raw video. So I don't know. I did see him walk into the room with something, but I cannot definitively say that it was like dope pipes or anything like that. You know what I mean? But listen, drug addict versus drug addict, and these people, drug addicts, are known pathological liars, so I don't know which one to believe. But in this case, I'm gonna say that I believe Jade's mom and dad because they've got the video. And yeah, some people, when they're dedicated to lying, you guys remember the story with me where someone was so dedicated to lying that I sent them a video of something that they did and they still lied about what I was looking at with my own eyes in a video. So for that reason, I'm gonna go with Jade's parents on this, that Shawn was busted. One thing that I'm gonna give him a half point on was that he was dedicated to pretending he's not into drugs, saying, you know, it couldn't have been me because I haven't done drugs, like I'm off drugs, I'm clean and clear. Whereas Jade's mom, all her excuse was about the drugs not being hers was that she wasn't downstairs at the time. On Jade's side of the segment, her parents asked to come over, and her manipulative ass mom, she's always doing this, you guys. If you listen very closely to the way she speaks, this woman is constantly manipulating Jade about letting her stay in her home. You know, she acted like she and her husband were doing Jade a favor by staying in her house rent-free, using up her electricity, eating up her food, putting dope on her counters. You know what I mean? She goes, listen, like, I don't want you staying here, you know, by yourself. We're gonna help you with Chloe, whatever you need. Like, I just don't want you here by yourself. Jade's like, well, where else are you gonna go then? You know, where else would you go? You've got nowhere to go. And then both of them were silent because it's like, you know, sis, you're not doing me a favor staying in my house when your only other option is being homeless, you know, under a park bench, under a bridge somewhere. Like, you know, have some humility. Ask Jade for permission to stay in her house. Promise Jade that you're going to be clean and clear and sober. Don't act like, you know, you are God's gift to this green earth. I am so over her mom, y'all. So Jade wraps up the episode by talking about how difficult it is to love addicts. She's like, listen, they are the biggest liars on the planet. They are hard to love. Addiction is hard to defeat, but like, you can't, you know, it's hard to just leave them at the same time. And my heart really goes out to her. And, you know, I feel like a lot of people will be able to relate to the story that she's sharing because it is real life for millions of families and, you know, millions of children of addicts, millions of people whose like baby daddies are addicts. So, you know, kudos to her for being so open about something so incredibly difficult. And that wraps up this week's episode of Teen Mom 2. Again, if you're really interested in watching it but you don't live in Canada, get yourself ExpressVPN and you can watch it online, mtv.ca, for free. I've got an affiliate link down below that you can use. But anyway, as usual, I'm more excited to hear what you had to say about the episode. Make sure to let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, and we'll chat. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. And thanks again for 100K.